Transformers is another beloved by everyone of the 1980s multimedia franchises. From the awesome toys that did the thing the cartoons do, Transformers were unique and cool. But time had moved on, and after some tiresome reboots and new toy lines with wacky gimmicks, the franchise seemed exhausted. Until Hollywood's master director, Steven Spielberg, decided to reboot the whole franchise by making a live-action adaptation by sitting in a chair far away from the set location. Yes, Spielberg is your father's favorite director because your dad only learned two famous directors' names and is too stubborn to admit there's someone better. Spielberg just slapped his name all over it. The actual director is Michael Bay. Michael Bay is a tried but true director and seemingly preferred action-oriented work, with already solidified cult classics and box office bombs like Bad Boys, The Rock, and Pearl Harbor. But at this point in Bay's career, he had not earned his true identity, the director who likes explosions a lot, aka the Bay-splosion. Before we start moving forward with more about the review, I wanted to talk about this piece of information I found interesting about the writers. Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orgi, together best friends, would continue to work on live-action Transformer films that would eventually branch off to the Kelvin timeline reboot of Star Trek with J.J. Abrams. The two originally wanted to make a G.I. Joe film, but the plans fell through, and they found their way to the Transformers. With this information, we can now try and understand what this film actually is. Transformers begins in the Middle East, claiming it's present day. But I'm smarter, I figured it out, it's 2007, with a small group of soldiers who are on their way back to base. That night, at the base, a black helicopter enters the military radar, and even though there's no response, they allow the thing to land before revealing it's a Decepticon who destroys the base in an attempt to steal US intel. Back stateside, we are introduced to our fast-talking, quirky main character Sam Witwicky, who's played by the grown-up child actor Shia LaBeouf. LaBeouf isn't bad with his acting, it's just an annoying thing about the character, whose only ambition is to get his first car and a girlfriend. We begin Sam's story in his history class where he's trying to sell his great-grandfather's trinkets. Here we first learn that Grandpappy Witwicky is an explorer of the Arctic Circle, but came across something so strange he himself became crazy. I hate forced "this is my family's destiny" plots. After totally fumbling his presentation and guilt-tripping his teacher to give him an A, he can now buy his first car with his dad's help. Mr. Witwicky, Sam's father, is a cheap man with terrible dad jokes that act like comic relief throughout the film along with his wife. Sam and his dad go to a rundown used car salesman where they discover a beat-up Camaro on the lot. The salesman claims it's not his and it's not for sale, or he puts a price way too high. Sam falls in love with this car anyways, and the salesman wants more money than Witwicky's willing to pay, so he tries to huck a different and uglier car when the Camaro comes to life, so to speak, opening its door to smash into the other car, and then turns on its radio frequency so that it can instantly shatter the windows of all other cars, forcing the salesman to take a lower price on the Camaro. Sam, now with his old Camaro, takes off to the lake with one of his friends who will never be seen again after this lakeside sequence, where Sam verbally bullies the jock bro, who's Megan Fox's character Michaela's boyfriend at the time. This gets us to the most famous moment of the film. No, it's not the cool fast cars, and it's not f***ing Transformers changing or fighting. It's not even the big explosions. It's just Megan Fox leaning over the car hood. After the night is over and Sam has taken Michaela home, and he is in bed, the Camaro turns on by itself and drives away. Sam follows the car thinking someone is jacking it, only to lead him to a junkyard where he discovers his Camaro is a Transformer named Bumblebee, and is signaling to his team that he found the surviving member of the Witwicky family to help lead them to the Allspark so they can destroy it before Megatron uses it. We are introduced to the rest of the good guys team. There's Jazz, Ratchet, Ironhide, and of course, Optimus Prime. The first time I saw this film, I was confused as to where OP was, since he is the leader and the poster boy of all things Transformers. To put it mildly, this film suffers the same way kaiju and mech films struggle to make the human plot around the Transformers seem more interesting. Here they use Sam and Michaela's young romance and family matters as foundation, while Optimus and his team battle to the death to save the world. The humans try to help, but they're almost useless against their alien opponents. Another interesting thing is that everybody is a character. Everybody has a number, and they just try to fall in line. Hot girl, who's super smart and driven, but also like supermodel status, even though this is a high school movie plot. Also, all the black characters except for Tyrese Gibson have wacky antics and speak slang terms. Military guys are also white dudes, with the small exception of Tyrese Gibson, again, and the random Spanish-speaking guy who dies shortly after they're done using the boring joke, "No one understands Spanish." And finally, the President of the United States. I bet you can't guess who this was supposed to be. The only characters who should get this treatment and should be far more explored is that of the Transformers themselves, because they're based on cartoon characters. But the only Transformers we get to spend time with and develop is B and Prime. Even Megatron is a side character, even though he's the main antagonist of this film. The CGI is the biggest draw for the film because at the time it was top notch. They still make cool noises, and the metal gears and bolts twist around revealing a finished transformation, and the goddamn explosions. It's hard to say this wasn't the beginning of an era in Hollywood where everything has to have major explosions in each action sequence. 3 out of 5 stars. Michael Bay's Transformers is not a good movie, but the ride is super fun once Sam and Bumblebee team up and we finally get propelled into the new world of humans and extraterrestrial sentient robots that can live and fight together. The film is a massive success that put the Allspark back into the franchise, and Michael and his special effects team continue to make more of these films, with a current all 3D animated prequel film set to be released soon, and a live-action G.I. Joe crossover in the works. It's safe to say, however you feel about this movie doesn't matter. Paramount saw the dollar signs and kept driving forward with it. One final thing, the rock band Linkin Park did not make What I've Done for this movie. It's a single from their highly anticipated junior effort, Minutes to Midnight. Due to the popularity of the band during the time, it's easy to make the connection. Big band plus cool new song times even cooler new movie equals success. Don't worry, next time, Linkin Park, they'll make a song for the next Transformers film, and it will make a great divide across the fans.